So if you're not talking about UAPs, you're not talking about like the economic crisis. It's like, what are you talking about, bro? Because those
Hmm.
are the two most important things that are going to affect the rest of our lives.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
not gonna. Yeah, I don't think I see people talk about like the separation between the rich and the middle class or something like that. It's more about the job loss that's gonna happen with the tariffs or things like that, right?
True, but that's all tied in because then it's like, okay,
But that's what I'm saying. I'm
then
saying that's what I hear people more talking about than a separation between the middle class and the rich.
right, right, because you're looking at the symptom and not the cause. It's like when we go back to the cause, it's like, oh, the whole structure is really weird. Maybe we need to fix this. No, let's just look at the symptom. Yeah, there's a tariff going on, then like this is going to be, this country's going to be better than this country. It's like, well, how are we structuring this whole thing in the first place?
Hmm.
You know, and like that is the crux of the issue. Are you ready? How much time we got left? Because I'm about to blow your mind.
Well, I'll say yeah, 5-10 minutes. Yeah,
All right,
five to
cool.
ten. Yeah.
Ready for this? So, who is at the heart of that issue? The IMF, Internet. I think it's the IMF, International Monetary Fund. Is like we're all feeding. All these countries are feeding into this thing, right?
Hmm.
Where we play this game. Okay. So I was listening to this separate podcast about this woman who did I write her name down? No, I did not. So this woman, she worked for the Bush administration on finance, and she was giving nothing to do with UAPs. What she's about to say, but I'm like everything's linking up together. Okay, so she said that the IMF or like the World Bank or something, are the IMF and the World Bank same thing?
I don't know.
Okay, well one of those, whatever the major thing is, I
Hmm.
think she said World Bank.
Okay.
Okay, so that was set up after World War II because they needed to figure out a way to independently pay back the debts of countries because of all the damage that was happening. It's like if a city was broken, it's like, okay, well, I need to borrow some money. Who are you going to borrow the money from? You can't borrow from this country. So they set up a separate entity that would manage the world's money.
Hmm.
All right, I'll wait for you to look it up.
That saying that no, the World Bank and the IMF are not the same thing.
Okay, so is the World Bank then?
So I'll read on what it says here. They are closely
Okay.
related and share common goals. The IMF focuses on promoting global monetary stability and facilitating international trade, while the World Bank concentrates on providing financial and technical assistance to developing countries to reduce poverty and promote economical growth.
Okay, so the IMF makes sense for like the trading thing because it manages world trade. So like
Hmm.
that's like the main player of like when you're buying and selling like the euro and the USD kind of thing, you know, the trading game that we just talked about.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure she mentioned World Bank as the thing, but you said that they're closely related, right?
Yeah, but not the same thing. Closely
Not the
related,
same
but not
thing.
the same
Okay.
thing. Yeah, World Bank again, as this says, is focused on um, to assist developing countries to reduce poverty and promote economical growth.
Okay, cool. So that makes sense because that was established off of World War II when they needed to build back because a lot of countries were devastated.
Hmm.
Okay. So what she said was that if you look into it, the World Bank actually has immunity from the law. So it cannot be indicted on anything that's going on. It has its own like military system, I think, and like own legal system, all that stuff. And it had to be that way because it's like
It's
independent from a
international.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's independent from a country.
Hmm.
Okay. So while working with them, she said that she got to visit underground cities that are built all over America.
Hmm.
So there's like literally, she said like it's in Washington D.C. Like she went underground, and like it's just miles and miles of interconnected cities that they're building just in case of like a natural disaster. Okay, this is a part of her job. And then she said, "How do you think that thing is getting powered? Like most likely a breakthrough technology,
Hmm.
right? That's what she called it. Some sort of energy system that's breakthrough. It can't be wind, solar, you know, gas, nuclear. It can't be any of that stuff. It has to be something else that's powering that system because it's so infinitely big. Okay. But then the interviewer is Tucker Carlson. He's like, why don't they release that? And she's like, well, if you, that's, you're talking at that point about near infinite energy. And I was like, 0 point, UAP is 0 point energy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she said, if we give that to everyone, you have no control over people because then people will just have like families and like move wherever they want. Like you need a structured system, which is our power grid, to manage the system. And she's like, it's not even nefarious. Just think about being like a risk manager. You need to account for every risk. That's your job. So you're like, well, if we give out this free energy, how can we manage people? If we can't manage people, infinite risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes practical sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then they asked her to join. They're like, hey, we want you to, it's time to like join our cause. And like, you just need to be nominated by this person. And she was like, no, this seems kind of weird. And then they were like, if you say no now, you'll never get back in. And she's like, that's okay with me. So now we know that they're giant cities, weird energy systems, a weird cult thing where they're like, hey, you should join. World Bank is independent from anything. Okay. That's nothing to do with UAPs. This is all economics that she was talking about. And she said that they knew that the 2008 crisis was going to happen because of the way it was structured. In 1994, there was some Asian deal that like America backed out of. Like they promised like money or something. And then America was like, no, never mind. And then that caused a bunch of deals to collapse. So the World Bank was like, okay, we need a different system. And they created like this uncontrolled capitalism thing. And she was like, the 2008 crisis was going to happen, and they knew about it because there was a lot of ways to like fail the system because you're just giving out loans to people who can't pay back the money.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know what I mean? Like they forecasted for it. And the Tucker Carlson's like, why would they do that? And she's like, I think that they were doing it to raise the capital to go into space. Look at what we're doing now. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all these people are trying to go into space. Like that's the next frontier. So they were like, well, we'll accept the risk of like failing capitalism, but we need lots of money to start these things. Okay, cool. So with all that in place, now think about Stephen Greer. He's like, there's a transnational organization with UAPs and technology and breakthrough energy, and you have all these Navy SEAL whistleblowers coming out saying like, I went into these underground bunkers, saw this crazy technology, hover cars, all that stuff, like hovering blocks through sound, whatever, whatever. I'm calling it. The World Bank is behind everything. I
Mm-hmm.
bet you they are the ones that are funding the UAP crash retrievals, the reverse engineering. Why is there bases in like Asia and like, Peru and like America and like why is the whole world talking about UAPs? Like Russia's got bases, Japan's got, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all just clicking now, right? Aren't you just like, wait, this all kind of she had nothing to do with UAPs. She would just explain this. I'm like, wait, Stephen Greer was talking about this thing. Are they connected?
Mm-hmm.
Immunity from the law, UAPs, bro. Why does Trump know? Remember, he's like, don't worry, we know where these things are coming from. I'm like, are you in a part of this World Bank thing now? Like, is there a secret society that's like, you know what I mean? Is it the
Right.
World Bank? What do you
Mm-hmm.
think?
I mean, yeah, these are all substantial or claims, right?
They're all claims, but
Yeah.
it's like, it's all kind of just clicking in a weird way that you're like, huh,
Mm-hmm.
you're all kind of saying the same thing. Like,
Right.
who is funding the UAP crash retrieval? The Senate. That's why we're having congressional hearings because the congressional hearings don't even know about this program. But then you
Mm-hmm.
have all these military people being like, "Yeah, we're all right on the program." Okay, who's paying your salary, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you know what she said? She said that America is the biggest money launder. I hope we don't get canceled for this or like die. This is crazy. But she
Well,
said
I'll say
the
this:
yeah,
America has the freedom of speech, so I don't think we're gonna get canceled for this.
or in Canada. So you're right as
But or
well.
in Canada, but YouTube is American.
Facts. You're right. You're right. So she also said that America is the biggest money laundering mechanism in the entire world as well. Why do we keep failing our audits every single year? You're like, oh, we don't know where 20 trillion went or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, it's because it's all tied to the World Bank using America as a way to siphon money to like drug lords and like all that stuff. I was like, what are you saying right now, lady?
Hmm.
And she worked in the Bush administration. And again, she's not talking about UAPs. She's literally just talking about how the money system works.
Hmm.
But it's lining up very well with the UAP stuff. Because what they're saying is like in the UAP side, what they'll do is they'll like write on the black budget like 2 trillion miscellaneous. And they won't have to explain what it is, but it's like now you can use that for UAP research, or you can use that to reverse engineer UAPs, or like whatever, whatever, whatever. Right? Tell me it's not clicking, bro.
Well,
Or-
until the claims are substantiated.
And that's why they're having the hearings, though, bro. That's why they keep trying to disclose the big issue. The reason, you know, what's really insane. All right, last thing, because I know
Yeah,
you
yeah,
probably gotta go.
yeah.
All right. Stephen Greer said that the biggest issue with the UAPs is not the aliens, bro. Nobody cares about the aliens. Bring them on, bro. I'm sure they're cool people. You know? He said the
Like we
thing
said
with the
last week.
UAP,
Well, like I said last week.
right? No, for real though. But like the big issue with the UAPs is that once you uncover UAPs, you uncover the actual system that's been going on. And
Hmm.
that's what they want to keep secret. And now that I'm hearing this, I'm like, oh, it's because we're all a part of this game that you're all playing. Go back to the trading game. Why are they like screwing us over with like the rich and the poor, squeezing out of the middle class? Why is the World Bank immune from all legal systems? Why is US unable to account for trillions of dollars in their audits? Because we're all being played. And it has nothing to do with alien life. It's just the system that we've built and they're trying to keep under wraps because there's a lot of people making a lot of money. And then go back to like, what's the average income of everyone on Earth? $9,000. And they're making trillions per year. What the hell are you guys talking about? We could undo world hunger, poverty. Everyone could live in a utopia if this all comes out.
Hmm.
And that's the battle we're now fighting. And I believe that we're about to have a cyberpunk future because this is all about to come out. Calling it right now.